Big Blue Rendezvous. Really cool modern name going on and logo. I've just seen it, Ross, there. Like, I designed it quite a while ago. It's like a kind of spin-off piece to do as events and stuff. And then obviously lockdown came, and I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to just bring it out of the cupboard and whatever. So here we go. Big Blue Rendezvous, lockdown 2.0. So week one, it's pretty jam-packed, to be honest, for a week one. I've had to like do morning and lunchtime slots as we go on, because like obviously the uptake of people saying they'll come on, which is great, has been phenomenal. So it'll be mixed throughout the day. There'll be a generally morning, lunchtime or evening slot. I try to fit around the guest speaker, obviously. So we've got our very own Stewie Thomas coming on tomorrow evening to talk about auctions. Stewie Thomas will be doing kind of every Monday night throughout lockdown, because the bloke's built like a £3 million plus portfolio. He's got plenty to share. So he's going to kick off tomorrow with the auctions. I know he's obviously part of Expedition, our mastermind program, and he actually bought properties in the room at auction while he was sitting there with us before 10:30 in the morning, as you do. Then Ross is going to kick off his lockdown coach and launchpad Tuesday evening. Thursday lunchtime at 12 o'clock, we've got Laura Muse, who's going to take us on her investor journey, kind of how they come into her CRM, how she manages that thereafter, from obviously all of the social media things she does. That'll be mega interesting. I believe she's raised £4 million plus, so not too shabby. I think a lot of us here would be alright with a share of that. And then that evening at 5:30, John Paul, the MD of the Castledine Group, will be coming on. He came on last lockdown of the mega popular Zoom there. I think that I've got his slide in a bit, but I think he's got about 10 branches now in North East, which is pretty cool. And then Friday morning, my good friend and very successful businessman Dominic will be coming on to share his experiences and stuff. He got in touch with me last lockdown saying he'd come on, but then it kind of fizzled out and lockdown was over, so didn't get a chance. But as soon as this one came around, I was straight on the phone. He's got quite a few businesses, and I know he's investing in property. I think he's got a few new builds going on down there, so he's a very busy bloke, so I'm very grateful to him to come on. And then Sunday evening, Ross will be coming on to further his program with you guys. So if I just go, for those who don't know those speakers, I've just done very high-tech slides to tell you who they are and what they do. So Stewie Thomas is an ex-army officer. Like I said there, he's going to talk to us about auctions tomorrow night. Week 2, he's going to talk us about how he built a £3 million plus diversified portfolio while working away in the army. Week 3, LinkedIn. I believe he's got 10,000 plus connections on LinkedIn. So he's going to tell us how to utilize LinkedIn to build out property portfolios or other business portfolios. And then week 4, he's going to tell us about 17 disadvantages of investing in property and how to overcome them. I asked him why 17. He just said it was the first number that came to his head. So there you go. Very high tech. Like I said, I'm going to let Ross talk about the 4-week program. He's very kindly letting us do with him there. Otherwise, I'll just butcher it. Coming on to Laura Muse for Thursday. Like I said, £4 million raised, mainly through the social media stuff that she does, which is really, really good at. She smashed the BRR model with her husband James, and now she's kind of teamed up with him to do new builds and developments. Social media guru, she's got her own Facebook group. I think it's Social Media Success with Laura Muse. I'd definitely recommend everyone gets involved on that. Loads of great content, always going out on challenges. I think Steve Curtis, who's on this call, he got a rake of investor leads through one of the challenges he did with Laura on social media. And they've also got branched off, I squared property, I squared lettings, etc., etc. So she's not one of these who just kind of preaches about. She is in the day-to-day doing of it as well, which I've tried to like make sure every speaker who will be coming on throughout lockdown has about them, not just preaching it, they are actually doing the do. So like John Paul, for example, he owns a sales and letting agency. Who better to ask questions about how to deal with a letting agent or an estate agent than John Paul? So he's author of 2 books there, Systems to Success and The Agency Roadmap. I've read Systems to Success myself, really, really good book. Like I said, managing director of the Castledine Group, Northeast based sales and lettings. They manage over 2,000 properties, 10 branches with over 50 staff. lucky enough to have him in at 5:30 on Thursday, and he kind of just said, just point me in a direction, I'll just talk. So I think it's quite easy on what we go with there. And then Dom, like, not a lot of people know Dom, obviously, because he's pretty quiet within the network and stuff on Facebook there, but mega successful business. I'm going to let him talk about all of this because I didn't know how much you'd want me to say and how much you'd want to kind of keep on the QT. Property investor and he's Branson's mate. How cool is that, man? Just get him on for that thing there alone. I think he went Necker Island for the week. I think there was, I want to say 20 other millionaires and billionaires. I think it was 3 billionaires went on that week, and there was 20 of them just spent the week with Branson, which is really, really cool. So I'll be digging some of them stories out of him for sure. Our own AT, the Handsome Devil, he's going live every morning in the Facebook group at 7, as I think he has done for the last 24 weeks now, which is a sterling effort. So Ross, if I just make you host there, mate.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
And then you can share your screen, yeah?
Yeah.
There you go, mate. That should be you there. Thanks, Ross.
No worries. Cheers, Paul. How's everybody doing? All right? You're all on mute. So first of all, I just want to say thanks for inviting me on, Paul. I know last lockdown, Blue Oak did an awesome job of keeping everybody entertained and inspired and educated. So, I appreciate the invite. So, like Paul said, I've been working with him now for, over 6 months now. And, he let me know that he wanted to do another lockdown sort of intensive period of Zooms to add value to the community. And he asked me, and initially it wasn't going to be achievable, but I was able to move a few things and wanted to share a few things with everybody. So hopefully I can do you guys some justice. So this will just be an introduction to me. It'll take around 20 minutes. I won't keep you any longer because I know it's Sunday evening. This is purely just to save time on Tuesday so we can get stuck straight into it. So this is my business. It's my name. It's under my brand, Ross E. Smith. Oh, what's up in there? Let's have a look here. So this is what I do. I help business owners overcome self-sabotage by putting the puzzle of their past together and help them create certainty by holding them accountable to the tracks they build. So that's pretty much what Paul said earlier on. Self-sabotage is something that's ever present for most people, more so business owners, because obviously they're in the space of solving problems for their clients, but normally when they're solving problems for other people, their own problems come to the surface, especially when you're moving, towards your visions. Normally self-sabotage is linked to our experiences from all the way back to childhood. I don't advocate spending too much time dwelling on the past, but the key thing about solving the puzzle of the past is to collect all of the things that were missed in terms of learning so you can let go. That's normally quite a quick process, and then we shift on to creating certainty, and that happens by building tracks. And what we mean by tracks is having a purpose driven mission statement, so you're clear about why you're doing the things that you're doing, a very clear vision in terms of what you want as an individual outcome, not just what does the next deal look like for you guys or the next project. We're looking further afield from a personal perspective. And the tracks is basically goals and strategy, which we'll be talking about and getting stuck into over the next 4 weeks. So who am I then? I'm a high performance coach, and what that basically means is I help business owners become a much better version of themselves, to tap into all of that potential that's locked inside. And that will be the same for you guys. Perhaps there's areas in your life that that you want to improve. It's just you're not sure how to take it to that next level. I'm also ex-military myself. I was part of British Airborne Forces for just shy of 15 years, serving all over the world, Macedonia, Kosovo, Northern Ireland, and my last deployment was Afghanistan in 2008 before leaving in 2011. I've also been involved in risk and security management and consultancy, worked with the British Embassy in Libya, worked with various corporate clients, and as you can see there, Gareth Southgate, I worked with the ITV during the World Cup and the European Cup. All of this will make sense because I know this is not in relation, we might not think it's in relation to performance, but it is. No, I don't want anyone getting any ideas because I don't do this anymore. I know most people who are involved in property like to make best use of storage, myself included. But for a period of time, I ran my own bespoke joinery business, building, units such as what you can see in the image there, wardrobes, alcove furniture, all that kind of stuff. I like to push myself. That was me completing the Bolton Ironman in 2018. I've been out of the army nearly 10 years now, and I like to keep myself fit and as healthy as possible. So what does that all mean, and how does it relate to who I am and what I do right now? Well, everything that I've done up until now has been kind of, it's been important for me to understand what it is that either my leaders or my clients or my customers or my subordinates need the most to achieve the most out of whatever we're doing. So for example, in the military, in Afghanistan in 2008, we wouldn't leave Bastion and go into the desert without knowing clearly what our mission was and what the plan was, because otherwise things just go pretty hairy pretty fast. So all of the principles that I've learned from working with customers in their homes to understand what it is that they want, what it is that's inside their mind in terms of their vision for their furniture, is the same principle for performance and helping people move forward. We have to know where we're going before we can start that journey. And a real simple analogy for that is the taxi driver scenario. The taxi driver can't take you home unless he knows what your address is. So the most important thing with being able to understand what people want is building trust. It's something I've been able to do quite well, and I use to my advantage, or should I say my client's advantage, because once I've gained that trust, and this is something that I'm sure the vast majority of you guys are aware of as well, engaging with your power team, and new investors or sellers or vendors. If you're doing direct approaches and all that kind of stuff, it's really key to build trust early. And obviously, as I've just explained there, everything for me takes the same model, and it's all about beginning with the end in mind and then working out what you're doing in between. But obviously, being able to get there, you need to be able to get over some of the challenges that you may or may not be having. So why listen to me then? Well, I've given you a bit of an insight there, but predominantly, I'll give you an example. My very first day on the ground in Afghanistan, 2008, I was involved in an incident where I was actually, that's not my hand, that was my 2IC's hand on the image that you can see on the right hand side, and that is a pressure plate to an IED. And I was actually in that same situation, brushing dirt away, uncovering what was a suspected device when an explosion went off. And my first thought in that instance was, is that it? you know, is that the end of my tour? I've only been on the ground for 24 hours. But within the seconds that followed, you know, I felt the wave come over me from, you know, my right hand side, and all the dirt and stone and whatever else was landing on top of my helmet and the back of my body armor. I realized, you know, I was still here. I stood up and turned around, and I could see the plume of smoke, and I could smell it as well. You know, my body was filled with absolute fear, and I was almost I was in shock for a period of time. I remember looking at my OC at the time. He turned to me and said, "Smudger, can you get them out?" And in that moment, I had a choice to make. I either, you know, folded under the pressure, or I just did what needed to happen, irrespective of what was going on inside of me. And that's something that I carry forward, and that's something that I want to kind of impart on you guys over the next 4 weeks, that it doesn't matter how you feel, taking action is the most important thing. So what does the next 4 weeks look like? Well, obviously, Paul's just alluded to it a little bit. I've called it the Lockdown Coaching Launchpad, because if you get involved in all of this, then it will act as a bit of a launch pad. It will clear a few things out the way, and you'll kind of know what's ahead of you, and you'll start to feel that momentum compounding. The overall outcome is to give you increased levels of certainty and focus. Certainty comes as a result of having a system of components, which I've already talked about, like having your purpose-driven mission, having a clear vision, having strategy and goals, and then having the support, you know, during the process to make that, you know, a reality. So you know exactly what it is that you're working with. And by virtue of creating all of those things, we're going to cover the one thing that prevents your performance and limits the way that you see the world, but in the same breath, it has the ability to project your results to a higher level. We'll talk a little bit about the mind and how you can influence it to create change. I'm sure most of you are aware of, but you might not understand how it really works and how you need to work with it as well. This week, moving forward, we're going to be looking at how you can bust your own limiting beliefs and solve problems. So this is the ability to self-coach in the moment. So you will come away with some strategies on how to do that, which will be lifelong skills that you can use at any time. I've already mentioned it. Purpose-driven mission statements really, really important. That's the, you know, the beginning to any sort of you know, amount of effort in any particular direction. You've got to understand the reason why we're doing it. It will come into play when you're making decisions and everything else. So it's really important to get clear on that. In conjunction with that, I'll be helping you get really, really clear on what it is that you want as an individual. I'm aware that a lot of you may already have, well, the vast majority will have businesses, I'm sure, whether it's just property or other businesses, or you might even be in a, you know, a successful career. Irrespective of that, all of those things for me are what I refer to as vehicles. Just as the taxi takes you home after a night out, your business creates a result, whether it's a sale, i.e. you sell it for profit, or it continues to create results for you in terms of monetary, time, freedom, you know, increased, you know, better relationships with, you know, your family, friends, and you know, other people in your life. I want to help you develop a 90-day roadmap. So that's about digging into goals and what strategy you're going to utilize. I won't be going into property strategy. That's not really my place to do so. I do understand property strategies, but I'm certainly not the person to be phoning up and asking what's the crack with that. So I wouldn't bother. But this is more about bigger picture. This is about what you need to do, and certainly for the vast majority of the Blue Oak community anyway, because I know there's other people that I've invited onto this call and this program. This is about what you need to do. So whatever vehicle is your choice to equate the results that you want, that will be part of your strategy. But the detail, you know, I would suggest speak to somebody who knows more about property. The key thing I want to do during this entire 4 weeks, this is not just about me imparting information. I can talk to the cows come home, but I'm sure you wouldn't want that. This is about implementation. So there will be live coaching, more so on the Sunday evening. And there's a good chance that we'll do some Q&As on the Tuesday and perhaps bring somebody in on the Tuesday evening for short periods of time, just so we can capture you know, a good underpinning of the learnings that everybody needs to learn before you go into, you know, reflection and taking action on the things that I'm going to give you to do, so you can get greater clarity and you know, a sense of certainty and increased focus. So it's over 4 weeks. Today being the 8th, just an introduction. First night's on the Tuesday at 7:30, and then on the Sunday at 7:30 for an hour. I'll work to those timings. If anybody wants to take it over a little bit, I'm happy to sort of finish off conversations, but generally speaking, we'll work to that 8:30 because everybody's got beds to get to and, you know, lives to deal with. I've alluded to it a little bit on the previous slide. Tuesday is going to be mostly information and issuing of actions, and there'll probably be a little bit of Q&A and maybe a little bit of coaching as well, with the Sunday being focused on reviewing what we've learned over the period from the Tuesday previous, and then bringing somebody onto the call, or perhaps a group of you, not just one person, but a couple. Won't be able to bring everybody on a course, but we'll be refining what you've learned. We'll be digging into the details, so we increase that level of clarity, and hopefully everybody will benefit from that as well. And we'll also preview what we're going to do the following week. Growth work, I don't like calling anything homework. You know, anything that you do that's going to benefit you, that you're going to get a return off, you know, it's going to give you, you know, some form of growth. So I like to call it growth work, and that's all the reflection and actions. But I'll be clear about what you need to do every Tuesday. And finally, there, you know, it's on you basically. You know, I'm doing this because I want to. I'm passionate about it, and you know, Paul's a great client of mine. You know, and I want to support him as much as I'm sure he wants to support me. But if you want to get the benefits or get the results from, you know, this coaching program, you know, I want you to treat it like a vehicle, you know, almost like a submarine. Once you get in and you go subsurface, you can't get out until you resurface again. So I'd like you to treat it as a, you know, a vehicle that once you're inside of it, I want you to stay the course, because otherwise you won't get the same results as everybody else. And I think that's probably about it. Yeah, so I will stop sharing my screen, and if anybody's got any questions before we move forward. Have you got control again, Paul?
Don't get me control. Yeah, sound it. Thank you. No worries. So does that sound all right for everyone for the first week there? And then obviously there was too many to do for weeks 2, 3, and 4. You know, I don't like doing slideshows as it is, so I did week 1. That'll do for now. But we've got like builders coming on, accountants coming on, people who are actually doing it, deal packages coming on. So there's plenty to be keeping us busy for the next 4 weeks. And thanks very much for putting that together, Ross. I know I was kind of the last minute. I decided last Thursday afternoon that I was going to do this, posted about it Thursday night, and then had to ask a load of people on Friday to do it. So Ross got a phone call Friday. Any chance you can put this 4-week program together? So hopefully it'll be all right, and hopefully we can make the most of this time, ready to crack on post lockdown and really get stuck in. All right. Is everyone happy? And if everyone just wants to do me a massive favour and just put on Facebook about how mint this is going to be, I'd love that. Yeah. Well, listen, I'll let everyone get on with the evening. Thanks again, Ross, for coming on, and can't wait to start that on Tuesday. And everyone else, I'll see you tomorrow for Mr. Thomas's auction session. I'll drop this week's schedule in the WhatsApp group there, so you can put that in your diaries, whatever. So, and like I say, enjoy the rest of the evening, guys, and I'll see you all soon.
Good evening.
See you later.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Well, yeah.